was a context from our internal functionality. All right, our internal functionality. There are revelations of our functionality that are just within this current earth sphere. All right, for instance, you know, I don't hear some ministers say, "Oh, in eternity, I'll be an apostle." No, really. Apostles, prophets, teachers, you know, pastors within the current functionality as we have it, ends with the church age. Ends with the church age. All right, it ends with the church age. You know, Paul is not an apostle in heaven within the context with which he mentioned it in the earth. He said he has set these ones in the church. First apostles, he sets them in the church, not in the body of Christ. Are we together? He has set them in the church. Are we together? I want us to follow. I really want us to follow. Just be calm. I really want us to follow. Sabra Shagada Baradia. So he said, and God had set some in the church. First apostles, he didn't set them in the body of Christ, it's in the church. There's a difference between the body of Christ and the church. The church is the word ecclesia, and the revelation of the ecclesia is the ecclesia is the part of the body of Christ, right? That is within this current sphere where darkness still has a presence. That's why it is called church or ecclesia, because the context of ecclesia is a context with which you are attempting to colonize or attempting to administer a civilization in the presence of oppositions. In the presence of oppositions. Alright, that's the context of the ecclesia. That's why I said I will build my ecclesia and the gates of hell will not prevail. The ecclesia is being built or is being administered within a sphere where the gates of hell, the activities of the gate of hell has a presence. Alright? That's why the church and the body of Christ is not the same. The church is the body of Christ, but the body of Christ is not the church. Do you understand? So the church is what? Is the part or the member or the part of the body of Christ that is within this sphere that is going through restoration, within this sphere where Satan, and the gates of hell has a presence and an influence. That's why it is called a church. Alright, that's why it's called an ecclesia. But the body of Christ, alright, spans beyond this sphere. The body of Christ is the whole membership both in the heavenly spheres and these earthly spheres. That's the body of Christ. Alright, so when Paul exited this sphere, he exited the church and became part of the body of Christ. You understand? He exited the church, but he didn't exit the body of Christ. So the church is inside the body of Christ. So the body of Christ is not inside the church. So this church is like a subsphere or a subset of the body of Christ. So the people we call the church are you and I, who has a presence here, who has an administration within this earth sphere that is facing opposition. Alright, the gates of hell are not present in the heavenly sphere. Satan is not roaming around as a roaring lion in the heavenly sphere looking for whom to devour. It is we who are in this sphere that are going through suffering, that are going through persecutions. Nobody in the heavenly spheres are going through that. Alright? So Ephesians 3 says, of whom the family in heaven and on earth. So it is the family on earth, alright, that is the church. The family in the heaven is not the church. It is the body of Christ, but it is not the church. Are we together? It's simple doctrine. Right? The word ecclesia obviously shows you that there's contention against these people, and it's only the body of Christ on earth that has that kind of contention. That's why we call them the church. So Paul is saying he has set them in the church, first apostles. So it means apostles, prophets, evangelists, their functionalities within the church. Alright, within the church, within the part of the body of Christ called the church. That's why anyone who exits this sphere through death or through translation, alright, not everybody will die through death or through translation, alright, ceases to be part of the church. It's why Jesus, alright, appearing to Saul, he appeared to Saul because he's part of the body of Christ in heaven, but he could not preach the gospel to the gospel of salvation to Paul. He had to lead him to Ananias. That's why that is part of the unique function all right, of members of the body of Christ that is in the church. It is only that function, which is part of the evangelical function, is only possible by a member of the church. Jesus is not a member of the church. He's the head of the church. He's the head of the body. All right? Because why? I hope we're following. Get my context right. All right? He's a member of the body of Christ, but he's not a member of the church. Why? He's not within this earth sphere. Here's what I mean. The Jesus as the man, all right, who has ascended. All right, he's part of the body of Christ and the head of the body of Christ. But as touching the the church, which is the part of the body of Christ that is within this earth sphere, he's not part of it. Paul is no longer part of it. That's why Paul said, "I have finished my course." I have finished my course. What course did he finish? He said, "I fought the good fight of faith. I have finished the race. I have finished my course." What race did he finish? It was not the race of maturity. All right, it was not that race unto fullness that he finished. It was the race of his functionality within the church, of his pilgrimage in the earth as a part of the church. So when he ascended, or when he left, the earth, he became part of the family in heaven. He's part of the family in heaven. He's part of the body. He's part of the family in heaven. He's no longer part of the church. Because the church is the part of the family of God, of the part of the body of Christ that functions within this earth sphere. I hope it's simple enough and clear enough. All right. What am I trying to say is that their functionality. So people say, "Oh, in heaven I'll be called an apostle." No. There's a reward. God will reward you for being, for the work